I like to say that, every week you're like casting into a new version of yourself. And every week that you're casting into a new version of yourself, you're either progressing or regressing. And the challenge is to find what worked and what didn't work throughout that past week, and find, if it didn't work, do I want it to work better? And if you're not being introspective with yourself of, okay, last week I felt like garbage most of the week. What did I eat? Oh, okay, I ate a lot of fast food. I'm not going to eat fast food this week, and I'm going to give myself a test, just a little benchmark on myself. Do I feel better than I did last week? You have recasted yourself into a better version of yourself because you just gained some information by just taking a brief survey on yourself. Yeah. Now, it doesn't have to be that minute of a detail. It could be a very overarching detail. It could be, I was very frustrated this past week. Why was I so frustrated? Well, I was frustrated because I wanted to achieve these tasks. Well, why didn't I achieve those tasks? Well, I was too busy doing this task. Okay, how do you eliminate that task? Right. Or how do you get help doing that task? And maybe you need to hire it out. Or maybe it's a task that didn't really need to be done. Right. Maybe it's something that could have waited and you could have gotten to the thing that you really wanted to do, instead of getting to the end of the week and being frustrated that you never got to get that done. And now everyone around you suffers. Mm-hmm. Because when you're not the best version of yourself, the people around you are absorbing that.
Yeah. I was getting very frustrated with Otto, our 2-year-old. And it was because of sleep deprivation. You can only do so much when you're running on 3-4 hours of sleep every night for months and months and months. Mm-hmm. So when you came home, we were fully prepared. We were going to start sleep training so that I could start sleeping again. Mm-hmm. And that caused a big shift. And I've been investing in myself and doing some of those introspective comparisons and analysis to see, why was it so miserable while you were gone? Yeah. And it was because I was exhausted. Like, you just physically cannot function. But I was also not mentally challenged. Yeah. When Otto was that age, I remember taking online seminars while he was napping. Yeah. So I was still getting that mental stimulation, I guess. Right. This time around, I had no energy to put into myself. So I was just pouring out constantly for the kids. And
your gas tank just runs out. Yeah. And you're running on a depleted resource. Right. And so nobody really benefits from that. Right. Our relationship, had to be put on the back burner. Completely. Because we had to focus on making sure the kids were where they needed to be. Right. And when you have to choose between, your relationship or your kids or your job or your extended family, you're going to have priorities, and they're going to be in a hierarchy. Right. And most oftentimes we're going to worry about the thing that we find most precious at the moment. And at that point in time, it was the baby. Yeah. Right. So Otto had to sacrifice. Our oldest son, he had to sacrifice. So he had to learn how to, deal with certain things. How to be a big brother, which for him, he was 2 years old. What kind of rationale do they really have? Right. But he had to figure it out. Mom is busy, breastfeeding the baby, or mom is busy changing the baby, or mom is busy trying to get the baby down. What is Otto doing? Well, Otto, you have this big playroom and you got all these toys and books, and Otto actually developed this like autonomy, like this little bit of, self, whatever you call it.
Independence, a lot of it.
An independent streak of, oh, well, mom's busy. I like these books. Yeah. And oftentimes Tiffany walk in the other room and Otto's in there just flipping through a book.
Yeah. And you're just like appalled. You're like, what's he doing?
Yeah. I'm not a book reader. So I'm like, why is my kid reading a book? I listen to a lot of audiobooks, and I actually have gotten a lot better at reading books, and I find a lot of value in it. And my son and I read a lot of books together now.
Because there's lots of pictures.
Oh, I love the pictures.